Sega cannot stop giving us good and bad characters in the series. At the start of the series, there was 3 characters ranging from Sonic, Eggman and Tails. Now we have so many more characters, and in today's video I'll be going over most of them in a tier list. Also, a big percentage of people who watch these videos aren't subscribed, so if you could subscribe then that would mean a lot, so enjoy the video. The first character we have is Shadow, and I'm going to put him in S tier because I think that his appearance did a lot for the Sonic franchise, as SA2 sold a lot of copies worldwide. Shadow has did a lot for the series, becoming one of the most talked about characters within the community. He is a very good character with his backstory and him being about the ultimate life. He is also Sonic's rival, which is something that we had, but Sonic didn't have much competition in Knuckles or Metal Sonic. Shadow came in for his true rival, which is why I'm putting him in S tier. I have a Sonic, and I don't want to be too generous with this character, but I'm going to put Sonic in A tier because I love his character and his character arc. But overall, I think that Sonic is one of the best characters left in the series. This is why he is going to go in A tier. Sonic isn't like the other characters. In fact, he is nothing like any of the other characters in the series, but he is sort of Shadow's opposite, and Shadow is his opposite, if that makes sense, and if you guys get where I'm coming from. He doesn't have the story and abilities that Shadow has. It's like, you compare those two characters and you see that Shadow is the superior character because he has a better story and he has more abilities than what Sonic has. It's like, if you compare Sonic and Knuckles, they're kind of similar. They're both decently fast and they both have good strength, but overall, like, Knuckles is more powerful, I guess, but then Sonic is more fast, right? But yeah, you could definitely make the argument that Sonic could go in the S tier probably. He is one of the best characters and he is the main character. So yeah, you could definitely make the argument that he is the best character in the series. Next character on the list is Jet. I only have seen him in 3 Sonic games so far, and he hasn't been used in a mainstream Sonic game since the last Sonic Riders game. My ranking for this character will be very controversial. I'm going to put him in S tier. Now guys, hear me out in this one, okay? His games weren't that bad, right? His backstory was fine. The Babylon Rogues was very interesting. Like, it's a different story compared to most stories that we've had with new characters. It's like talking about the Echidna tribe but with a different species. Babylon Rogues are a very nice piece of information that we gathered from Sonic Riders. From the ancient times of Sonic. They were around since these ancient times, just like the Echidna tribe back in Sonic. Time helps us understand the backstory of other ancient species that we know of currently. And that is my reasoning for Jet being in S tier. So Scourge is a character from the comics and not from the video game franchise, but I thought I'd include him anyway because I love this character a lot. So he started off in Sonic's state, but then his usage of the Chaos Emeralds turned him into Scourge. His original form was known as Evil Sonic. Scourge is the Mobius counterpart to Sonic, hence why he is called Evil Sonic and why his original form was Sonic. So I'm going to put him in A rank. I think he isn't as good as Shadow and Jet, but you can make the argument that he is an S tier character. He is worthy of S tier, but personally for me, he's going in A tier. This next character is the latest villain to come to Sonic, and that's Infinite. Infinite is a weird one to put onto a tier list because he's hated on quite a lot in the community. Then the question is, where would he be placed? Well, personally, I think Infinite, and he's one of these mysterious characters that we have, like Mephiles. So I am going to rank him in S tier. Hear me out on this one, okay? His origins comes directly from the IW comics, and I like that they took a character from the comics and put them into the main timeline. They changed him to become Infinite, but we didn't know who he was until we looked deeper into the comics and found him there. So for that reason, he's going into S tier. So Dr. Eggman Nega is a character that I know very little about. It's that he's from Blaze's dimension and that he's a descendant of Dr. Eggman. That's why his name is Dr. Eggman Nega. In Blaze's world, he is known as Eggman's counterpart, but that's what he told everyone in Blaze's dimension. Overall, he is a character I know very little about, which is why I'm going to put him in C tier. Omega is a very easy character to put onto a tier list, so I'm going to put him into B tier. As for my opinion on him, he's just one of those characters that isn't used as much as he used to be used. He just isn't really around anymore. He's been around for the past 2 games, Sonic Forces and Team Sonic Racing. He hasn't did much for the story besides in Sonic Forces when he got brought back and he started helping the team at the very end of it. That's all I can say about him. He's a mid-tier character and that he goes into B tier. I think that Mephiles deserves to go into S tier, and here's my reasoning why. He's literally God in Sonic 06, and he tricks Silver into believing that Sonic is the one to destroy his future. So then Mephiles takes Silver and Blaze into the present day to try and kill Sonic, which to me is pretty cool. No one has ever had that much hatred for someone else. He also did it to make Elise cry so that Solar's been brought back into the world, and so that he could form with himself again. That is my reasoning for him being in S tier. He is one of those few characters to try and kill Sonic. Charmy goes into D tier as he's just a lost cause. I don't know what to say besides that he's just like a bad character. He's just not explored enough for me to give him a respectable placement on the tier list. He's not as good as the other chaotics, so he just goes into D tier. Chip goes into D tier as he's just not used enough, but he is a special character. He is also known as Light Gaia, which is pretty cool, but he hasn't been used in a long time and he's just become more and more relevant over the years. He's just not good, if that makes sense. He's just not a good character. He's just there for the plot in Sonic Unleashed for Light Gaia. So for that, he just goes into D tier, but he is an okay character. Metal Sonic goes into A tier. He is a character that is used quite a lot, and I talked about him in my latest video regarding the second Sonic movie. He is the original rival to Sonic in that he was created to defeat Sonic, but always got left behind when Shadow got introduced into the series. Let's be honest, Shadow is the cooler and better character. Metal Sonic is still one of my favourite villains to this day, no matter what the series brings in. Cream goes into C tier. She is another character that got heavily shafted with her character development. Like, they could have done so much more with her besides being Amy's best friend. But overall, she is an okay character. But she could have been a lot better. But right now, she's not really doing much, so she just goes into C tier. Styx goes into C tier. And here's why. She was only used in Sonic Boom and she didn't really have any character development throughout that series. And for me, character development is the most important thing for new characters to get. So she goes into C tier for that reason. She also isn't used in any other Sonic media besides Sonic Boom TV series and the Sonic Boom comics. Orbot and Cubot go into D tier as they are just boring characters, honestly. There isn't much to talk about with these two besides that they're robots that Eggman built. I love Espio so much, so for me he easily goes into B tier. He isn't an A tier character quite yet, but he is such an underrated character in the series. I feel like if Sega would capitalize on him a lot more, then they would have a really good character there. I think that Espio should easily be the leader of the Chaotix, and it shouldn't be Vector. He is just so unused, and I don't like that Sega won't use him as much as I would like them to, as I think that they could really turn him into a solid character. I think people would really like Espio if they dug deep into him. I feel like not many people actually like Espio or talk about him too much, which to me is pretty intriguing because I always thought he was a good character. Amy is also an easy B tier character. She is really cool, and it's nice for Sega to give us a female Hedgehog for the series. I feel like it was a good move for them to make her for the female audience as well as Blazing Rouge. Amy being pink obviously represents girls, and Sonic has her opposite in being blue, which represents boys. And for that simplicated reason, she goes into B tier. I also just like Amy as it gives the female audience of Sonic something in terms of a female protagonist. I'm sorry to the vanilla fans, but she goes into D tier. I don't like this character. She isn't used enough at all. I do find her to be funny when she's around Vector. I don't really have anything to say about her, so she goes into D tier. However, Blaze is a very cool character. For me, she goes into A tier for the reason that she is her Dimensions version of Sonic, which I find to be pretty cool. I also like the idea of having an alternate Sonic from another dimension. She is a cool character in her own right. Her character development is pretty solid if you ask me, so for that reason, she goes in the A tier. Sally is another character that I like, and for me personally, she goes into B tier. My reason for this is that she is only used in the Archie comics, which I don't read. She is in B tier because her character development is pretty solid, which is one of my favourite parts about a Sonic character. A102 Gamma goes into B tier. He is from the first Sonic Adventure game, and from what I know, he betrayed Eggman in hopes that he would be able to help Sonic and the gang defeat Chaos and Eggman. He isn't the only badnik of his time, and there are others like him that serve Eggman, but he went against him. It's pretty cool to see that he turned on Eggman and was the only one to do so up until that point. God, we have the president. Alright, well, he goes into D tier. This character's irrelevant, but my friend Silas wanted him in here, so here he is. But this character sucks and hasn't been used since Shadow the Hedgehog in SA2, so yeah, he goes into D tier. Marine goes into D tier as I don't know much about this character, and that she literally is only used in one Sonic game, so yeah, I don't really know any of her backstory of what she does, so for me, I'm just going to put her in D tier as I know a wee bit about her, but she's just going to go into D tier. Storm is an easy character to put into C tier as he's just a boring character and was only used in Sonic Riders because it was about the teams, and that's where Jet had his debut. Jet was the most used out of the three of the characters. We don't really know much about him besides that he's with Jet and Wave. He's simply just not used enough and was only in 3 Sonic games so far, so yeah, C tier. The Deadly Six goes into C tier as they are just weird characters and they were only used in one game. I didn't really play Lost World. I played it once on my friend's Wii U, but that was it. They are just irrelevant characters to the series, just like some other characters on this list, so yeah, C tier. Chaos is an easy A tier. Now he isn't near anyone in the same tier as him, which means that he is the lowest ranking on A tier, but he is still one of the coolest characters that has ever been used. My reason for him being in A tier is that he's the most original villain that they have ever done in the series. Up to this point in the timeline, they have tried something new with him and it worked. He got positive feedback and I love him, so he goes into A tier. Tails doll goes into B tier. This creepy doll that we got in Sonic R was so strange and weird as we didn't have anything like him in the Sonic series up until that point, and when he got introduced it was a whole other story. He turned into a creepypasta, and if you didn't know, they are pretty scary, so for him to be one is cool and scary at the same time. Sega did a good job with giving people nightmares with this character, and for that reason he goes into a solid B tier. Big goes into C tier, and my reason for this is that he's just a meme now, and he has just lost his touch throughout the series. He could have been an okay character, but they just left him in the dust in the games, and for that reason he sadly goes into C tier. Yes, he is loved and I like him, but his character just didn't really start, and it will never start. Eggman is in B tier as he is the typical villain and he is the original villain of the series, and he is a gaming icon. Eggman is a pretty solid character. He is an evil scientist that is actually pretty cool. From him being a normal scientist to working on an experiment on a normal hedgehog which turned into his enemy, and I like that his origins started with Sonic. I like that they started together in the very beginning, which to me I think is very unique, so he goes into B tier. Knuckles easily goes into B tier. He's another solid character and he was Sonic's second rival, which is one of the main reasons why he is a B tier character. His origins comes directly from the ancient Echidna tribe that was around years and years ago, and he stems from them protecting the Master Emerald. Knuckles is like the leader in Sonic and formed the team to take down Eggman. I do enjoy having Knuckles around, and that's why he goes into B tier. Rouge goes into B tier. I think that she has the personality to be a good character and could easily be Knuckles' rival in the series, which is set out to be in SA2. Rouge was clearly made to be the opposite of Knuckles, who steals jewels and Knuckles protects them from getting to someone else. She is meant to be there from Team Dark and to be a rival for Knuckles, so I think that she is a solid character to go into B tier. I also think that she has everything there to be a B tier character, or she could be an A tier character if they could work on her more, but they probably won't. Tails goes into B tier. The reason for this is that he's just been around for so many years and he is Sonic's best friend, and which I cannot take that away from him. His character development is poor and needs to be worked on, but that's why he goes into B tier. We also don't have any other mechanic on Sonic's team, so it's great that he's around. He repairs everything which comes in handy at times, so yeah, he goes into B tier. Silver for me goes into S tier, and before you go to the comments and complain about why Silver is in S tier, let me explain. I think highly of this character because of the fact that he is in the synergy of a 3-way Team Hedgehog, which includes Sonic, Shadow and Silver, which are arguably the strongest characters in Sonic. Me and my friend Silas did have a discussion on why we think so highly of him. He is hated on far too much, and it's time for that to end. Silver is a unique character in his own right and deserves some more spotlight. He is the cool and he is the savior of the future, so for that reason he goes into S tier. Vector goes in the B tier for the fact that he is funny and that his detective skills are pretty okay. He is there to solve the mysteries that happen. A good example of this is in Team Sonic Racing, and for him being extremely funny and a good detective goes into B tier. Wave goes into B tier because I would say that she is arguably a solid character in that she is also a part of the Babylon Rogues, which seek out to bring their planet back to life in Sonic Riders, and for her, Jet and Storm to do that, to bring their people back, is pretty heroic. But there is also an evil side to it in the Sonic games, which is obviously there, but she hasn't really been explored that much. She is also Tails' opposite, but overall I think that she is better than Tails. The Werehog goes into B tier because I personally think that he's pretty cool, especially with his technique and how he was explored. He also was brought to life by Dark Gaia and has never been seen before up until Sonic Unleashed. And yes, this isn't really a new character, but it's a transformation, but I just wanted him to be here. He also has some pretty cool techniques and abilities, but yeah, he's on this list, but he's not really a new character. Yes, Shadow is my favorite character in the series, but for good reason. So my question is, where would you guys put all 36 characters on the tier list? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.